Hello and welcome to the third lesson in Unit 2. Our topic today is making change, and this is going to be one of the more challenging parts of this unit because it's a combination of a couple things. We need to be able to use our skip counting. We need to have good addition skills. So the goal is I can successfully make the appropriate change for the real-world examples provided. So the strategy for making change, okay? The first one I say is we always add up. Okay, so we always add up. All right, which means that we start with the value of the bill or the value owed. All right, so if your bill comes out to be $7.50, that's what we start with. And the third one is we work up to what was paid. All right, so we're always going to be adding. We start with what was owed, and then we work our way up to what was paid, and then we can figure out what our change, the appropriate change will be. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of examples here. So I'll try to explain as best as I can as we go. So let's say you go and you make a purchase at Subway, and your bill is, or what you owe, is $7.85. Okay, you look in your pocket and you have a $20 bill. Okay, so working over here in your head. So $7.85 is where we're going to start. All right, I want to get to the nearest 10. So I want to get to $7.90. So how do I get to $7.90? Well, I added 5 cents. So here's my decimal. I added 5 cents. All right. Now I want to get to, so here's step 1, step 2. Next, I want to get to the nearest dollar. So that means that I want to add up and get to $8. So what did I do to go from $7.90 to $8? Well, I had to add 10 cents. So over here, I added 10 cents. Okay, so I added a nickel. So I added a nickel to get to 90 cents. I added 10 cents. That's the 10 placeholder to get up to $8. Now I'm up to $8. And my final destination is $20. So how do I go from $8 to 20? My final step, I'm going to have to add $12. This is how much change you can expect back at Subway. $12.15. Okay? So we'll do this again, and you'll get quicker with it. Some of you will be really quick and be able to skip some steps here. I'm just showing you a general strategy that works every time. What happens if, let's say this time your bill is $11.20. Let's go with that. All right. And again, you go into your pocket and you pull out a $20 bill. Normally, it's going to be multiple of 20 because that's what most cash machines. If you go to the bank, you go to your debit machine, they kick out or spit out $20 bills. So it's typically going to be a multiple of 20 that we're making change from. Not always. So we're starting with $11.20. So I'll start the process over here again. Some of you will be able to do this in your head. First step is to get to the nearest 5. Well, we're already there. We have a 20. We end in a 0, so that's good. We don't have any nickels to add here. So I'm going to have decimal 0 at the end. Excuse me. Now I want to get to the nearest dollar, round up. So I want to go from $11.20 up to $12. So how many dimes do I have to add to 20 to get up to 100 cents or move from $11.20 up to $12? Well, I'd have to add 80 cents. All right. Now, my final stage, now that I'm in dollars, is I want to get up to $20. So that means that was stage 1. How do I go from 12 to 20? Well, I need to add $8. There it is there. That will be the change you will get from this purchase, $8.80. Okay, so we're just doing that mental adding process. I've got two more examples that I want to try. Again, I'll talk my way through it. So what happens if you buy pizza for your friends and it comes out to be $22.65? So now when you look in your pocket, in order to cover this, you have two 20s. So that means you have $40. Excuse me. So how much change are you going to get from this pizza purchase, being that you're such a nice person, buying everyone pizza? $22.65. First step, we need to get to add enough to get to an even 10. So we want to have 10 cents on the end here. So that means we're going to have to get up to $22.70. So that means I added, here's my decimal point, I added a nickel or I added 5 cents. Now, from $22.70, I want to go to the nearest dollar. So that means I want to go up to $23. So to go to $23, how much did I have to add to go from 70 cents, $22.70, up to $23? Well, I had to add 30 cents on, so 3 in there. All right. Now, we want to move to the final amount to go from 23 to $40. How far is that? So we know 23 to 30 is 7, and then another 10. So that means we're going to add $17 onto there to go from 23 to 40. Here again is your change. So the adding process, excuse me, the adding process gets us, what we're recording on the side there, gets us to the amount of change owed. All right. One last example. What happens if you are buying something for yourself? So let's go $16.45. You're going to use the $50 bill that your grandma gave you for your birthday. So how much change are you going to get from this? So we start at $16.45, and we want to go to the nearest, we want it to end in a 0. So we go up to $16.50. So that's step 1. So to go from 45 cents to 50 cents, I had to add a nickel. Excuse me. Now, you want to go to the nearest dollar, going upward. So that means that I want to go from $16.50 up to $17. So to go from 50 cents to $1 means we have to add 50 cents. So now we're at $17. Next is our final destination. We had a $50 bill. So how do we go from 17 to 50? So I know from 17 to 20 is $3. 20 then to 50 is $30. So that means I have to add 33 on, and there's your change. So it becomes a little trickier with bigger numbers, obviously. Most of the examples are going to be under $50, all right, because we want to practice the mental math, and I know some of us, it's a little rusty, so try to keep the numbers a little bit lower. But it's this adding process. We're going from what our bill was, add to get to what we paid, all right? It's always adding. A lot easier, because a lot of people find adding easier than subtracting, and that's why we use this particular method. So now you have a worksheet to try and maybe some hands-on materials so we can practice with making change. Complete the worksheet or the activity that's involved here, see how it goes, and check in with the teacher before you move on. Good luck.